Pop wearing such sexy clothes is only 15 years old. Almost everyone has issues with this costume design. Why does the author draw her this way? The most direct purpose is to cater to lecherous audiences. As a serialized shonen manga, this design aims to trigger hormonal responses in adolescent readers purely for commercial reasons. Judging by the current buzz, Pop Step's design can be called highly successful. On the other hand, the author also uses the costume to create contrast. Pop Step's everyday clothes are very plain, but as an idol, she embodies confidence and boldness. Her sexy outfits become a symbol of her rebellion against her true self. In the plot, Pop Step's hero identity is that of a street idol, so such costumes fit the idol archetype and serve as a tool for self-promotion. This design is described in the manga as an impish style, using sexy elements to attract audiences while hinting at her vigilante identity. Pop Step's daily image is that of a conservatively dressed student. The idol's sexy costumes become her alter ego. In the story, she states that she's only her true self on stage. This contrast foreshadows her gradual acceptance of herself. Similar levels of fan service are common in other anime. Matoi Ryuko in Kill la La. Kill has both more extreme plots and costumes than Pop Step Kitagawa. Marine in My Dress Up Darling also. A high school student encounters far more adult situations. The characters in To Love Ru are aliens, so they can be considered an exception. But even the protagonist's classmates experience more than just being pinned to a wall. Pop Step's age hinders the more adult-oriented direction of Vigilantes. Vigilantes is clearly geared toward a more mature audience. This applies to the story content, tone, and even the protagonist. Pop Step being 15 years old only limits the narrative if she were an adult. You might have seen a scene in the anime where she showers at Koichi's house. The latest episode tells Pop Step's backstory when Koichi went to take the hero school entrance exam. He saved Pop Step from drowning on the way and gave her his jacket, ultimately causing him to miss the exam. The key plot points here are simply that Koichi missed the exam and that he gave his jacket to Pop Step. There was no need to make Pop Step a child. She could be just 1 or 2 years younger than Koichi or even older than him. The decision to make her 15 reeks of the author's questionable fetish. Some argue don't take the anime so seriously, and that's true, but changing a single number in her age would make Pop Step an adult. Knuckle Duster is in his 40s, Koichi is around 20. There's no problem with setting Pop Step at 18 or 20. Choosing to make her a child just makes many scenes uncomfortable. The author created this character, and the anime team put this underage character in a miniskirt in the first episode, even showing up her skirt in a shot. It's not just her age, they place Pop Step in adult situations, like when she's almost assaulted in the first episode, but the dialogue frames it as taking a photo. It's truly baffling. My Hero Academia reaches its final conclusion. Deku has become a true hero. After growing up, Eri pursued her dreams. In the new manga volume, you can see Deku, Bakugo, and Todoroki working on a mission together. The manga begins with Eri entering the teacher's room at UA High School. She greets the teachers and introduces herself. Everyone is very emotional to see that she has grown up. Just then, All Might walks in. By this time, All Might has become the vice principal of UA High School. After Eri greets All Might, she says that she's here to see Deku. Mick interrupts and says that Eri wants to invite Deku to watch the performance this weekend. Aizawa says that Deku is currently dealing with a crisis in the city center. He also reminds Eri that if she reveals her identity now, it might affect her first performance. Just as Eri agrees, the TV starts reporting the current hero rankings. Deku is ranked 4th, Bakugo 5th, and Todoroki 2nd. It also mentions that even though Deku has lost his quirk, he still works as a hero. In the picture, Deku saves others with his hero suit. He still inspires everyone as a legendary hero. The report also mentions Deku's understanding of heroes. A hero is not defined by their abilities, but by the unwavering look in their eyes when they face others. On the last page, Eri holds a guitar. With the same determined look in her eyes, she says that she will also do her best. The story of My Hero Academia finally concludes with Deku becoming a top-tier hero and Eri's self. Growth. Everything is moving towards a better future. The scene where Lacan is at his coolest was deleted by the anime team. It's really a pity not to have seen this scene. At the anime's drinking party, Lacan casually mentioned his wife showed a Go game record with his wife and wanted to pull the two into talking about it. But in the manga, Lacan started the conversation by talking about playing Go with his wife, gradually moving on to Shisu's wife, aiming to draw everyone into discussing Shisu's wife. When Shisu's politely refused and chose to leave the table, Lacan suddenly frowned and urged Shisu's to reconsider. This was essentially a direct threat to Shisu's. Lacan seemed to know some suspicious details about Shisu's wife, and the topic of the new type firearm brought up at the party was fundamentally about the assassination attempt on Jin Shi. Throughout this, he constantly questioned whether Shisu's was aware of the matter. Shisu's wife is originally from the Western region origins, and this new type firearm also originates from the Western regions. Many previous disturbances in the Imperial harem were basically related to the Western regions, which clearly made Lacan suspect Shisus. Another deleted part is when Lacan was verifying that Shisus is colorblind, he said grape juice would appear a beautiful red with a close-up of a sly expression. When Shisus agreed, Jinshu was surprised looking at the green grape juice. But in the manga, Lacan also had a smirk of success as if his scheme had worked. And the matter of colorblindness is a very important clue in this anime. As mentioned in previous episodes, the earliest ruler here was a colorblind person. Mao Mao appears on the surface to be a servant girl sold into the palace, but in reality, she is a princess. According to the anime's historical records, the Lu family is a very important noble clan. It is well known that Mao Mao's adoptive father, Lu Han, is a eunuch who took her in shortly after her birth. In fact, her adoptive father is also a member of the Lu family, though he was expelled from the clan due to certain matters involving the royal family. Mao Mao's biological father, Lakan, is the head of the Lu family, which means Mao Mao is the Lu family's primary heir. Since she is a princess, why is she not recognized as a member of the Lu family? This is related to Mao Mao's mother, Hao Sen first. Hao Sen's identity was that of a brothel prostitute. For a large noble clan, such an identity was naturally unacceptable. Coincidentally, at the time, Lakan held a low position in the palace and lacked the money to buy Hao Sen's freedom. Hao Sen, who had fallen in love with Lakan, devised a plan if she became pregnant with Lakan's child. Her value as a prostitute would decrease, allowing Lakan to afford her ransom, her freedom. Unfortunately, not long after she put this plan into action, Lakan was sent to the frontier for 3 years. During this time, Hosen indeed became pregnant, and everyone believed Lakan had abandoned her. When Lakan returned, the girls in the pleasure quarter deliberately hid Mao Mao and Hosen from him, even after Lakan successfully retrieved Hosen. Later, Hosen's mental state at the time made her unwilling to acknowledge Mao Mao as her daughter. This is why Lakan could not recognize Mao Mao as his daughter. But I believe Mao Mao herself does not wish to be part of the noble family either. She is quite satisfied with her current life in her existing family. The dark world of Chikawa. The price behind free food is absolutely terrifying. In the Chikawa manga, there's a story where the fountain that grants free food dries up one day. Chikawa, Hachiwara, and Momonga, 3 adorable characters, are forced to take on hunting missions to earn their food through labor. After a hard day's work and finally getting a meal, the scene suddenly cuts to a hunting party in battle. When a member of the party gets eaten, the food fountain beside Chikawa and friends start spraying food again. Melon bread with a meat filling. Connecting these two scenes is chilling upon reflection. Those free foods appearing in the wild are likely made from fallen cuties. The fountain dried up because too few cuties had left the world for too long. The monsters that attack cuties exist to maintain the world's balance, ensuring cuties have food to eat while controlling their population. When free food runs out, cuties are forced to hunt for survival, a dangerous task that essentially forces them to risk their lives. When all food is gone, starving cuties will die, and these deceased cuties likely become the food that gushes from the fountain. Though the cuties look adorable, the world they live in is disturbingly dark. Chikawa character power ranking. Beneath their cute appearances lies a dark worldview. Survival depends on combat. 6th place, Momonga. Capable of gliding from great heights, boasting extreme speed and mobility, lacks direct combat power, and has fragile mental fortitude, crumbling at the smallest frustration. Once reduced to tears when Usagi mimicked his movements, even failing to open a coconut caused a breakdown. 5th place, Chikawa. Initially relied entirely on Hachiwara for support, hesitated to act without Hachiwara by his side, shows rapid growth. In later episodes, he broke a magic wand to save friends controlled by Hachiwara's hidden super luck. His house was won through a lottery showcasing his overpowered fortune. 4th place, Hachiwara, a versatile all-rounder with early game dominance. Fought bugs single-handedly from the start, broke a witch's curse turning the trio into dolls, using a bottle cap demonstrating quick thinking, genius-level intellect. Aces exams effortlessly. 3rd place, Usagi far stronger than Chikawa, and Hachiwara having one-shotted Momonga multiple times, unbeatable by the trio. Hachiwara and Chikawa attacked Usagi without recognizing him, but he remained unharmed. 2nd place, Kurimanju possesses an incredibly tough physique, enjoys ice-cold baths that others can't tolerate, easily disciplines Usagi when he harasses Chikawa. Usagi dares not resist or outclasses Usagi in raw strength. 1st place, Rako dominates the ranking with a massive power gap, holding the top spot on the monster hunting list. One-shotted the bug that made Chikawa cry, displaying terrifying combat prowess.